Mr. Joe Sawyer, and Mr. Bertram Lowe. The Architectural Preservation Foundation is honored that they have agreed to show some personal insights and some experiences with all our friends and neighbors. And now I want to introduce Miss Jean Archibald, a volunteer at the house. She's been coming here for a few years, spends a month to 6 weeks, and she has a few words to say. Jean?
Thank you so much for coming. This is wonderful, and I'm just sorry there isn't absolute seating for everybody, but I think we can manage okay. We have 2 exits. I have to be safe here. 2 exits, and there's a restroom downstairs if anybody needs one. We're going to let these gentlemen talk for a little while with each other, moderated by David. And
I'm going to ask Mr. Bertram Lowe to give us a little bit of history of himself. When he was born, where he was born, where he went to school. Is he a local Alberconian? Bert?
Yeah, I was born 1933, and I went to the public school in Green Turtle Cay at the age of 6. But when I went to school at 6, I could read, write, and I knew I could count 100, and I knew all that small stuff what kids just had to learn. My mother taught me that before I went to school. But mornings when I went to school, the first thing we had to do, we had to line up in front of the school to do exercises. Then when you did the exercises, then you had to sing your timetables from 2 to 12. And when a child went to school and he got the age of, let's say 6 or 7, you know all these tables right straight on through what kids can't do today. Take away the calculator from the day and the lost. It's a fact. It sure is. And then when you got inside the school, then they had to sing some songs. And I still could remember some of the numbers in that song. Like 2 was Awake My Soul and Lift the Song. 3, Bright and Breast of the Sun to the Morning. 4, Come Let Us Join Our Cheerful Songs. 5, Eternal Father, Strong to Save. 12, Heavenly Father, send thy blessing. The last one in the book was 29. When mothers of Salem and children brought to Jesus.
Did they teach you that?
We had to do that in school. Then you went into your homework and your lessons. When you got in higher grades, it consisted of pounds, shillings, pence, farthings. And you had to know how to bring all that back to pounds. And it said 4 farthings, 1 penny, 5 farthings, a penny, 1 farthing, 6 farthings, a penny, 2 farthings, 7 farthings, a penny, 3 farthings, 8 farthings.
Anybody know what a farthing is?
What is a farthing? What's a farthing? What's a farthing? A farthing, what is a farthing?
A quarter of a penny.
A quarter of a penny, that's what it was. And the British money consisted of a half penny, 1 penny, a threepence, 6pence, a shilling, 2 shillings, and then you had what they call a florin, $50, and a half crown. A crown was a half crown was 2 and 6. A crown was 5 shillings, and 20 shillings made the pound. The Englishmen call them a quid.
Yeah. Bertram, in 1939, when you went to school, or 1940, what would a farthing buy? I mean, how much? Yeah, how much? Nothing. You could buy a farthing worth of sugar or a farthing worth of...
You could buy a penny's worth of sugar.
Penny worth, okay. So you could buy a penny's worth. That's 4
You could do
farthings.
that. That was no problem. Then, some days they put us out and we had to do gardening. We grew everything you could think about. And especially, I remember one afternoon, James Saunders, the teacher, Sandy Mark, told him, say, Joe, listen to what I can tell you here. You hear me? So that's this big place, where the school residence was, you know, and this was for all the weeds. And an old lady had one. They used to have a bunch of chickens. So this afternoon, these fellows decided they was going to burn this place out. They didn't realize the chickens was in there, so when they caught on fire, and I looked, all the chickens is in there, the wings of fire look like when we was going to Germany. Yeah. So then when the boys was coming in, James, Mr. Robertson, the boy had to tell the boys to come in. When they was coming in, they were singing Trump, Trump, the boys are marching. So Mr. Roberts told him, say, make one more march around the school and come in. And they come in and give them one round, give them a dozen each and a half. Walk with a cane. Cane big as your finger. Oh yeah.
Different day.
Different days. Yeah.
Now, you went to school till you were the age of
14, then I
14
could go to where nobody could teach me nothing more. That's true. That's no joke.
Okay.
Period.
So at the age of 14,
At the age of 14, I was right after the 47 hurricane, you know.
okay.
And I worked in the road, all the roads in the front road, the seaside road, that was all washed out. And they used to cut quarry rock, put that down, and had two fellas, Mr. Harry Roberts and Mr. Henry Hewitt, used to dump Betty. Joe, you remember that, eh?
No.
And I was a water boy. I had to get all the water from out of the sea and put it down, and they had dump Betty in the thing.
Knock it down.
Packing the stuff down, you know. Mr. Henry usually say, water me up, boy, water me up. When you went home in the afternoon, you write over the rocky stuff all over you. Yeah, and then I carried that all the way down till we got out of the docks, and I got the flu. I couldn't go to work. Next day when I went, Mr. Horace Roberts, who was the JP, the lighthouse keeper, the foreman, and he had all these positions. And I got down there and said, Mr. Horace, I'm sorry I couldn't make it yesterday. I said, but I'm here today. He said, too late, my boy, too late. He said, you lost your job. I said, lost my job? He said, yeah. And boy, let me tell you, if you was behind time, you lost your job at that day, and you'd want you had to take it. And then I used to go on the boat getting crawfish and sea stars and conch shells and all this sort of stuff. Then Daddy carried me down to an island they called Fish Keys. Made a tent down there, 4 hours of down there. One afternoon, Walter Curry and myself, my cousin, we went down to carry some of the crawfish. The old fellow was down there. He said, tell you what, say, boys, you wait there, I got something for you. I say, Parker, what you got for us? You just wait. And he got there, moonshine. You got a good swig of that. I said, boy, water is tasting good. I said, yeah, man. Look, he had trouble to find maybe he's going back up to the next island. Then he got up there, he said, you all crazy or something, mate? I said, I don't know, but I'm feeling good. Yeah, so then, when I was 17, I made my first trip to the United States. I was shipped on the boat called the Stand Before, for Captain Sam Sawyer. And I was with him for a while. The first month he didn't pay me. The second month, my daddy said to me, he said, well, Captain Sam want to see you, pay you off. I said, okay. When I got up there, he said, well, you know you're a young boy. I said, yeah, I know. He said, you only could get half the wages what your daddy and the other crew get. And I said, what do you mean? I did everything what they did, even kept my own watch and all. He said, but only you pay you off. He still owe me for that money. So, when I went home, I said, Dad, Sam, you only paid me for 1 month. He said, I won't go with them no more. The boat was tied up to the stone dock. There was plenty of water there at that day. And another fellow there on Cautions, he said, well, I'm not going either. Two of them got mad. Cautions got his suitcase to come round. He fell overboard. Yeah, then I got over from that, and I went with my dad in Roswell, Sawyer, on a boat called the Lindo. Used to run into Nassau.
What size boat, Bertram?
She was about 50 feet.
50 feet, okay.
And that's why I wanted to get anyhow, because I'm a good friend was, you know. And anyway, I did that for a while. Then my cousin said, working in Nassau. I said, why you don't get a job working in Nassau? I said, boy, that's a good idea. So I told Daddy, I said, I got an off. I can stay in Nassau. He said, okay. And I did for a little while, but I didn't like that at all, too much of confinement. I came back home. Then I shipped on a boat called the LD to go to Ackland's Island crawfishing. And I did that for a while. And then I got on another boat, the Marianne Cape. And then I got off of that and got on a boat called the Crustacean. I made a replica of that, a couple of them. And I got off of that for a while, and then I got back. And that's when I met my wife. And we got married. And then I kept on running. And one trip we came in from West Palm Beach. We came into Indian Key. I don't know if anybody here is understand where Indian Key is. Up north of West End there. And next one, the tide was low as far as we could come because we had loaded. We had in like 15, 20 tons ice. And next one, the boat started out, and I could hear goop, goop, goop. I went over the side and I looked, went back in the pilot house and said, Captain Sam, there's crawfish, you know. He said, crawfish? He said, damn, you could lie. I said, no, I ain't lying at all. He said, you lie? And I said, go take a look. When he went and he looked, couldn't believe what he was looking at. And we went up to the government dock. And believe you me, the crawfish was this thick on the bottom, was crawling on the rock like crabs. There were millions of them, miles of crawfish. And we made 5 trips every single night he was in the Gulf with a load of crawfish. That's right.
You ever seen them like that again? That thick?
No, I seen them, not as thick as that, but I seen them from the south end of Grand Bahama, right down on the south side, the whole length of Grand Bahama. Scattered, you know. Yeah, but I did everything you could think about. And when Joe and I had to catch all the big sharks, me and another fellow used to cut out the jawbone and boil the teeth out. Guess how much we get them for the teeth? Two for a penny. Yeah, thought you were doing big things too. Oh, yeah.
Archer, what about Joe and the trumpet, Gabriel's trumpet? You remember you told me that story?
Oh, yeah. Joe could tell that story, but I don't know if you hear me what I said. Joe said one time him and Marcel, his brother, was the Carters. And the ship was way out in the back, you know, and it was blowing. They Marcel said, Joe, oh, Joe. He said, that's Gabriel blowing his trumpet. He said, the Lord coming. Then a nice scoring, one was scoring all the paddling. So I tell you what, if we get into Carlos and we see Gilbert Roberts, we know the Lord ain't come yet. Hey,
Joe. Let me ask Joe a question. Joe, why don't you tell us when you were born and where you were born, where you went, same as Bert.
Well, I was born here in Green Turtle, and I'm 83 years old, and I'm more or less English descent. On my mother's side, I go back and they died in the late 70s, and they were English, they were Russells, John Russell and Mary Russell. Then they had a son named Edmund Russell, and he had a son named Harrison Russell, and then Mamie Sawyer. And that's where I came in. Sad the day, but never let it happen. That was all there. And I schooled here. I've been down the same road what he walked. I went down that same road and until I went to school. When I got out of school, my brother, one of my brothers named Marcel, is he here?
No.
Anyhow, Marcel is my brother. He and myself, we went in the boat together. Our main livelihood was lobster, crawfish, and sharking. And my brother and myself, we did a lot of sharking. Dangerous, the way we had to do it, because we didn't have the facilities. You know, we only had a 14-foot boat, and we used to handle 12, 14, 15 feet sharks. And we were out behind the reef. And we would have a chain, a 15 fathom of chain out there set with 6 hooks on it. And we have to stretch the chain out taut. And then we'd have to link these hooks on chain about, if I can remember right, probably about as long as me. And that clips in and we clip into the chain. And we'd make that hook and stretch that chain out, 75 feet of water. And sink it, let it sink down and go to it every morning. And sometimes we'd meet 4 or 5 those big tiger sharks on it. And those sharks, we look at them through the water glass bucket or the viewer, you might call it. You can see in through the water down into the, to the water to see what was on the chain. So we can know what to be expected. And anyhow, we caught a lot of sharks, but in this particular one, which was the biggest shark I ever caught here, they said he was measured about 20 feet. But that was the tongue, that wasn't the root. I don't think he was that big, but anyway, that's what it went. It had about 300 pounds of liver. We used to sell the liver, the hide, and the fin. The liver, they put into chick feed, and to feed the chickens with. It had more vitamins in it. The liver, the fins we used to send to China. They used to make shark fin soup. And then the hide, they used to make shoes, belts, and believe it or not, you smell it after it went through the process of making the product. You think it was real cowhide leather, the way it's that same fresh smell. And we went out there this morning and we always had a floating buoy to find out which end of the chain was. So we'd look down and see what's on it there, but pull up and go to it. And we couldn't find the chain, nowhere. We looked all about. And we knew we was in the right place because the buoy was going, sorry. And I saw a big black face this way off us, and I told my brother Marcel, I said, Marcel, what's that big black down there? I said, over the years we haven't seen it there. Ah, come on, he said, Joe, that ain't no shark down there. What that black thing had to do with the shark? So anyhow, after we couldn't find it, we went down there. And when we went down there, this mako shark